What is going on, guys? The Inside Blue Podcast, and today we're talking about the New York Giants victory podcast, the first one of the season and the first win of the career of Jaxon Dart. Jaxon Dart gets his first victory of the season. We're going to break it all down for you, but before I do that, leave a like, leave a follow, and let's continue the grind to 400 subscribers. Let's do this, man. A victory podcast. Boy, does it feel good to finally be on the other side, right? 3 losses. They finally bounced back against an undefeated Chargers football team. And they win in very good fashion, right? I thought they played a pretty good game. I thought there was obviously a lot to clean up. Obviously, a lot of bad news for this football team. Malik Neighbors is now out for the season with a torn ACL. And, I think that's just another example of why MetLife Turf needs to be removed. Now, they did meet, an executive of the NFL did meet with the players and John Mara this week on Monday. It has to change, right? They got to go to grass. I mean, the amount of injuries we've seen, not only from the New York Giants games, but the New York Jets games as well, like Nick Bosa going down with a major injury. So, a bunch of injuries on that MetLife turf, and it's a lot of impact players and a lot of great superstars are unfortunately getting injured because of the turf of MetLife. And, we don't want to see that ever for a player to go down with an ACL injury. ACL injuries are a terrible injury. There's even a chance that your favorite player that tears their ACL might not come back as the same player that they once were. That's coming from myself, who has torn their ACL, and I'm not going to say I'm not the same player, but you definitely take a toll as an athlete. But regardless, Jaxon Dart, let's talk about him. He's going to be the main story, main character of this victory podcast. He looked good overall. I think, when you take 6 sacks as a quarterback, you're not going to love that on the score sheet, but I do think the big thing that you take away from Jaxon Dart is his grittiness, leadership, and he was able to, move the football downfield when they needed it most, right? I think there was a few conversions that we needed to get a first down, and Jaxon Dart stayed poised in the pocket and looked comfortable, right? He wasn't forcing anything. There were some bad throws, of course, but, a rookie performance is never going to be perfect, right? I don't think I expected that. I expected a lot of maybe missed assignments, you'll call it. But I did like a lot of his grittiness. I mean, some of those runs that he had, he's breaking tackles. He's trying to lower his shoulder and truck some players. Now, obviously, as a coach, you want to make sure that he slides. And Jaxon Dart, protects himself, right? Because you don't want Jaxon Dart going down and going back to that Russell Wilson experiment. Because Brian Dable said, like I said in the preview pod, Jaxon Dart is starting for the rest of the season. You're not going to see Jameis. You're not going to see Russell Wilson. This is the Jaxon Dart era. And right now the Giants are 1-0 under it. They got the New Orleans Saints this week. We'll have a preview pod for them. But another thing, too, this pass rush, man. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence even. He gets an interception. Dexter Lawrence looked great. Brian Burns gets a sack. Kayvon Thibodeau gets a sack. Abdul Carter, I'm going to say it. He had a sack. I know it doesn't count. But when you force a quarterback to intentionally ground the football, I'm going to count it as a sack for Abdul Carter. He played a phenomenal game. The big negative that for Abdul Carter's game was that one offsides that he had that led to a Quentin Johnson touchdown. And that's obviously unfortunate, right? When you're playing a very good football game and you make one minor mistake and it comes back to bite you. But regardless, this pass rush showed out, and that's how the Giants are going to win their football games. It starts with Brian Burns. It starts with Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon, Abdul Carter. That front four is going to have to get to the quarterback consistently. And we saw that. Justin Herbert took a few hits from Abdul Carter, Kayvon, Dexter Lawrence, found a way to get an interception. He redeemed himself from a drop earlier in the season. He finds a way to get that first career interception and nearly took it to the house, too. Andrew Phillips with another interception on Justin Herbert. I've liked his game a lot. But this team's got to be healthy, right? You got to have your guys healthy. With no Malik Neighbors, I'm looking at Darius Slayton, man. I'm looking at Wan'Dale Robinson to step up in a big way for the New York Giants. They got to just find a way to consistently get open for Jaxon Dart, right? We know Jaxon Dart is going to struggle a bit at times because those two guys, they don't really separate like what Malik Neighbors does against cornerbacks. Darius Slayton needs to have a big time game against the Saints. He needs to. I'm talking like an 80 to 100 yard wide receiver game. Like that one rare Darius Slayton game that has like 7 catches for 100 plus yards. I need that game out of Darius Slayton. Jaxon Dart is going to get you the football. I'm confident in that Jaxon Dart has the tools to get you the football. He knows what he is capable of doing. Using his legs was a big thing in Mike Kafka's game plan this week, and they used it, consistently. We knew when Malik Neighbors went down, they're probably going to run the ball a lot with Cam Scadaboo, who had a good game, had a 2-point conversion. The Giants' offense just had life, and that's what I'm trying to get at, is everybody was getting the ball in some way. Whether it was Wandale, whether it was Devin Singletary had some good runs. Theo Johnson with a nice shuffle pass to a touchdown was very cool. I like the creativity, better English there, from Mike Kafka. We need to see more good calls against some of these teams because the Chargers are no joke. I mean, heading into that game, it was not going to be an easy game for the New York Giants, and they put up 21 points. They put up it very well. I think there was a lot of drives that you could probably say the Giants could have maybe scored a few more points, but they had to, settle for some field goals, and you want 7. You want 7 bad, man. You want 7 points coming out of this Giants offense, and for the most part, I'll say Jaxon Dart's debut was a B+. I think a lot of the stuff has to get cleaned up, obviously, but I'm excited for his game against the New Orleans Saints. It's a weaker opponent. It's on the road, so we get to see what Jaxon Dart is like on the road. But this is a quarterback that does not shy away from the spotlight, and this just does not shy away against who he's playing against. I mean, Jaxon Dart knew that the Chargers were going to send pressure, and they knew they were going to make his life difficult on his rookie debut. And like I said, Jaxon Dart stayed poised. He didn't rush anything, and that's what you want. And I mean, another thing too, honestly, he didn't fumble, right? When you're going to rush the football that many times, you don't want him to fumble the football a lot when he's rushing. I think he may have had a fumble in the pocket, but Andrew Thomas recovered it. Andrew Thomas as well. The offensive line has looked great, especially on the left side. They played fantastic on the left side. Andrew Thomas, we love when he's healthy. Jermaine Illuminor, I know he allowed a few pressures in this game, but listen, man, Jermaine Illuminor has been a great signing, and he's been a great player for the New York Football Giants, and I've been very proud of his performance. We know that the interior offensive line needs to get better, with JMS as your center, John Runyon, and GVR, Greg Van Roten. We know that those 3 players need to be better, but they do know that they have a job to do, and that's protect Jaxon Dart. And I do think for the most part, despite obviously the 6 sacks, which can't happen at all, I liked the game from the offensive line. Defensive line, A+. I mean, they were fantastic. Like I said, all the big-time names getting to the quarterback and forcing turnovers. That is what is going to win you football games, is when you force the other quarterback to make bad mistakes. And I know Justin Herbert's going to definitely want that Dexter Lawrence interception back, and when he threw it right to Andrew Phillips, and he was able to take it all the way the inside of the 10-yard line. So very good out of Andrew Phillips. But I mean, listen, man. I'm very excited. They have the chance to go 2-3 and then head to Philly at 2-3. But I am excited to see what this offense is with Jaxon Dart. And I mean, I think there's a lot to be happy about. I do think it's gonna be a similar type game plan, but maybe he lets Jaxon Dart throw the football a little bit more, and maybe he has close to 200 something passing yards or something like that, a big time passing game. But listen, I'm very excited for the future of this season. They get a win. Let's not overreact to the win, but it's a good win, man. It's fun to win football games, and it's fun when the Giants figure it out and play a good game. And the Giants did that. And like I said, it sucks. It's painful that we're going to have no more Malik Neighbors. But now it's that next step up. Who is going to step up? And, you can't replace the Malik Neighbors, but who is going to be a big impact on the offense? Is Jalen Hyatt going to be able to step up? Is Bo Collins going to get some reps? So we'll see how that does. We'll see how the passing game is without Malik Neighbors. I mean, I guess a positive that you can take away with Jaxon Dart, without Malik Neighbors, he was still able to move the football, right? Jaxon Dart, of course, misses Malik Neighbors on that side, but he had to adjust, and he adjusted well. So I'm very proud with Jaxon Dart, very proud with his offense, very proud with the offense and defense. Great game plan from Mike Kafka and Brian Dable, and they're letting him settle in. Took a few college plays, and they said, we're going to run a little bit of Lane Kiffin's offense with you, and we're going to see how you do. And he played a good game, right? But the Giants win, obviously. That's going to do it for this podcast. I'm excited. I'm motivated to watch the Giants next week. They have the opportunity to move to 2-3 on the season. In terms of their division, right? The Eagles are not going away. They're going to honestly lock up this division. The Cowboys decided, we're going to tie with the Green Bay Packers, and the Washington Commanders dropped the game to the Atlanta Falcons. No Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. Injuries are piling up for the Commanders. Dak Prescott played a very good game against the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers will see the Giants later on in this season. So we'll see how that one does. But anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up for this video. Giants win, victory pod, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.